Alright, welcome back everybody to Rogue Legacy 1. We're gonna take another run at the boss here. Or rather, the next boss, I should say. We're playing as a ninja slash Hokage. They have higher attack, lower everything else, I think. They also generally get a speed boost. So they attack faster in addition to moving faster. The obvious goal here is to try to get as far as we can while, collecting money, because I'm not the best at this game, to be honest with ourselves. It's a rogue game. Certainly get perfect at the game itself, but, in most cases you're just gonna die hundreds of times before you, well, maybe not hundreds of times, but, 100 times before you actually beat the final boss, either because you're not prepared for, what was the word? Strategy? No, the patterns that the boss throws at you / the enemies throw at you, or you make some ill decisions on taking on a room that's got too much in it, take damage when you shouldn't. Or decide that, hey, I want to kill this guy. He's gonna give me my health back. What we're looking for now is a way to get to the forest. The quicker we get to the forest, the better. This obviously is the entrance way, intermediate way to the forest. I don't find the forest to be all that much more difficult than the main castle area. Certainly the guys take more damage and do more damage, but I don't know, as an area it's not as difficult. When you get to the Airy / Maya area, it's when I really start to notice, you have to start to beeline for where the boss is, because the boss, particularly when you get a couple rounds in, or to get their pattern down, really starts to be a lot easier than actually taking on the area. One of the things I'm gonna have to start thinking about is moving away from the current armor I have on. It does give me the ability to regain my health, but the damage, there's no armor. And the ability to take some of the, reduce the damage. Instead of playing the game of catch-up, where you're constantly trying to regain your health, we want to get to the point where, instead of it taking, 24 damage from me, it's taking 12, or what have you. So eventually we'll start to move away from the Vampirum armor and particularly the sword, you know, so we can upgrade how much damage we're doing through the sword. This should, I was about to say, this shows me that I'm headed towards the dungeon area. Kinda not where I want to go. Somehow managed to avoid falling into the pit there. So we've come full circle here. I'm kind of lucky with the chicken on this run. You know, not that I don't have the ability to regain my health. Some runs you get screwed with either very little HP drop or very little money drop, and depending on how far you start to get into a run, you know, the health, the regaining of the health is such a key aspect to extending the run, collecting an extra 10, 20, 30 gold, which then of course adds up. Yeah, zombies are definitely one of those enemy types that I'm not gonna say they're as annoying to me as, say, the floating eyeballs, but because they're on the ground, as long as you have good reaction, you can, you know, react to them, counter their incoming attack. But it's so bullshit that they hide like that in the earth. Makes it a road game, though. This is also a very bad room. This room gives me trouble from time to time. You don't want to take the damage from the spikes, and at the same time, if you're not being aggressive enough, you'll miss the platform entirely. But definitely once you run into your first zombie, you know that they exist in the castle, so you're always on the lookout for them after the first one you bump into. Boy, I'm taking too much damage on the first enemy. You know, the first zombie you should take 0 damage on. Almost died there. Permanent armor upgrade's great though. A lot of times that's just more money. And I died anyways. I'm playing as a Lich right now. Liches start out weak, but they gain more and more. Also, I'm dyslexic, so I can't. I think I've already picked a dyslexic character in the past, but like trying to read stuff is sometimes hilarious. So the more characters I kill, the more HP I gain, and this is severely limited to when I first played this game like 10 years ago, which I think the Lich may have been overpowered, and I think they rebalanced it so that it does less physical damage. Or I'm sorry, does more physical damage with the sword now, but caps out at its max HP much earlier. Like one of the main strategies of playing a Lich character is you take a nice slow run through the and when some mushrooms, chicken legs, also gold coins, vials of spring water, I backed open a tree trunk earlier and a bag of money flew out. So he's talking about hitting random items in the world, and it spawns chicken and such. It definitely is insane that, you know, you hit a chandelier or a table or whatever and a piece of gold or chicken pops out. And certainly the barrels make more sense, but just the mechanic of this game. I'm dead. But as I was saying about the Lich class, I think it's only once you upgrade it into a Lich King / Lich Queen that you get this ability. But you know, you spend as much time blowing up, you know, little easy enemies. Oh, good. I got the ability that makes I am the one. I am the whatever you want to call it. I am the chosen one. I see through the veil of reality into what it truly is. I am Neo. So it just changes the background a little bit, so it looks more like a training stage from a Street Fighter game or whatever. But as I was saying about the Lich class, particularly once you upgrade it into a Lich King, Lich Queen, it has the ability to... used to have the ability where you would go through and kill a bunch of easy enemies in this castle area and build up your HP, and then once your HP got high enough, you would convert that into a mana by basically saying, I want less HP and more mana. So it would reduce your HP by max HP by such percentage, and then you would regain that in MP, an MP gauge. So occasionally I would do a run where I would spend like 10-15 minutes just leveling against like little easy enemies here, and I would have like, I want to say like 1,000 plus HP and like more than 1,000 MP, and I would just, you know, be rocking the most ridiculous Lich ever. But you didn't do, if I remember correctly, you didn't do as much damage with your sword. And I don't think your magic was all that much stronger than, say, any regular class. It's hard to remember. This is what I hate about games is, you know, games nowadays is, you know, you get these people that are far too good, that play these games way too much, and they start to balance the game based on the exploit that these guys find. It's not like, you know, a money exploit where you just change the way that money is gathered or, you know, what have you. It's like out and out changing the whole game to be completely different than its original version. And I think one of the worst examples I can think of that is game called EU4 or Europa Universal 4. That game is completely different, and I don't just mean the map is got more provinces and there's more playable nations, and the small nations are better fleshed out. I mean, like, many of the mechanics in that game are completely different than that game when it came out 10 years ago. I guess it keeps the game fresh, but like, I mean, if you want to buy EU4, I may have complained about this on a different Let's Play, but like, it's ridiculous how, like, if you buy EU4, you can buy, like, I think it's the base version. I don't think it's full price anymore, but like the base version is like $30. Then to download all of the downloadable content, be like several $100s, and even if you do it during a Steam sale, you're likely to spend probably upwards, I want to say, maybe, with the exception of the most recent DLC pack, you're likely to spend probably $150, $200 on just the DLC packs. It's ridiculous. And, I mean, you sort of look at it in the capacity that is like, well, they could have come out with EU5, after 5 or so years. And instead you've been able to enjoy this game for a decade. And, that's fine and dandy. But, like, I'm practically, paid for EU5 and then some. In terms of downloadable content, and the game plays, like I said, so differently. The way you progress as a nation, they've changed it from, here is a goal, try to collect, say $100, an early goal when you're only making one or so ducats a month. Collect 100 gold, and there's ways to do that by fighting wars or taking loans or what have you, exploiting your ruling classes, like your nobility and merchant classes, so that you get quote-unquote free money by giving it up in terms of power or autonomy. I don't know. I mean, everything about that game is different, and in a lot of cases it's better. I mean, like, the trade system's better, the way you make money's better. The country tech tree is not. It focuses on long-term goals, which is nice, but it incentivizes changing, trying to change cultures, change nations, so that you get a new tech tree you can use. Assumptions have proven correct. Each wing of the castle houses its own tomorrow I will scour or whatever. He's talking about how, again, the castle is always divided into 4 regions. The castle, the garden area that we're in now, the attic or Maya area, and then the dungeon area. And that each one houses a boss. You won't find 2 bosses in the same area. Those guys are very much, I think, designed to make you use magic. It's like, throw the magic down, so you don't take damage. Trying to figure out if I want to take the boss on now or not. I have a decent amount of health to do this, but at the same time, if I could get full health, that'd be sweet. Requires not taking any damage in this room, because if you take any damage in this room, you've completely negated coming in here. Alright, so this is the second boss. He's a skull, flaming skull head named Alexander the Forgotten. His entire gimmick is he floats around and he shoots these little balls, and then every so often he'll spawn these little mini skull ads, which the current build that I have with the vampiric stuff really, I mean, if you can avoid taking damage, you know, you can just basically build armor here. But again, I'm forgetting where Alexander's hitbox is now. It's not very difficult to avoid that attack. And then the little skull guys don't generally overwhelm you all that much, because they all die in one hit. But that is where you'll die, and then they can of course overwhelm you, little skull guys, but I don't think I'm gonna one-shot this, but this is definitely something that you could pretty easily do. I think this boss is actually, I want to say this boss is about as difficult as the eyeball boss, whereas in the eyeball boss you don't have to deal with loading ads that track you. You know, you don't have that benefit either of harvesting them for, you know, HP and MP. And then of course they can do you damage to you as well. I'm taking about 50 damage every time I touch him. So if I get a better idea of, oh, those are ravens. Ravens are really good. He would be good too because he would be bigger, so he would give me the ability to stay out of his range if I can make it all the way back to the boss again. We're gonna try to look for places to spend the gold as well. We don't want to give Charon our gold, but eventually we'll get to the point where, you know, 2,000 gold won't buy you anything. That's also a good upgrade there. Get a little bit more gold from every kill. Or every coin, rather. Of course, I'm playing as the miner class that also gets a bonus to gold. But you gotta watch out for the rooms like that. Those are usually spike traps, spike pits. They don't ever make them impossible that you couldn't, like, say, get out of them. It's just like, oh, you fell down, you're dead, sort of thing, but you can easily get tricked into falling down, you know, a path that just leads to a spike pit. Take some damage. This is the alternate trade-off to being giant. You have a bigger hitbox. Or room to attack. Room to get attacked. Miner's also a relatively weak HP class. This is a very dangerous room for an oversized character. Too many enemies. You know, spewing shit all over the place. So we've gone from giant character to tiny character. That's unexpected. Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna go around again. Good job. Yeah, that would have been an ill-advised swing if he had actually been a mimic. Good job. Using the old brain. The old noggin, as they say. Down the hallway and just get him into a row and just start kicking. Dead, 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 dead. I'm going to die. Damn, come close to it. Yeesh. Alright, we're going up. Usually okay at avoiding those. Oh. Doing. Jump. Good job. What a jerk. Alright, we'll finally be able to go into the upper area. Because we're small enough now. I methodically cleared the tower. What is that? Methodically cleared the tower. And just bash through it. What a great hit there. Did you see that snipe? That was a 360 no scope right there. So that upper area was as we call upper area of sadness. Up there is two. They are two black mages that are oversized, and they fire probably the strongest magics in the game, and they have access to all of them too. So even though they both cast the same spell, eventually you should see them reach into their bag of tricks and pull out fire and ice. Yep.